What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics, where I share my passion and over 40 years of experience comic book collecting, investing, and conservation with you. Today, we are going to do an unboxing video for a comic book that I took a gamble on, and I think it may have really paid off. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. If you're subscribed to the channel, thank you sincerely. If you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified when we have new videos going up. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do so. It helps us reach a wider audience here on YouTube and create more of a community around our favorite hobby, comic book conservation. And speaking of comic book conservation, it's the title of our new book. It's a comprehensive guide to the materials and methods of comic book conservation, and it's available on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. So, what do we have here? Well, it was advertised as King Comic NN on Hip Comic. What does NN mean? It's the designation collectors give a comic book with no number. This comic was first offered on Hip Comic with a buy-it-now price of around $1,000 or $1,200 if I recall correctly, and I had looked at it with interest then, as it looked to be a very early Golden Age comic book, perhaps even Platinum Age, as it could predate the publication of Action Comics #1 in 1937, which is universally considered the first comic book of the Golden Age. The seller, a very experienced comic book dealer by the name of Infinity Comics, listed no information other than the title, King Comics NN. In the early days of comic book publication, it was more common for comic books to be published without a number, especially as a tryout or before the publishers knew that they might be continuing the publication with additional issues. The sale listing indicated only, quote, King Comics NN, no info found on comic, unquote. There was no grade listed, but this was still enough to get me intrigued. I checked the Grand Comics database and did not see any known publication of King Comics without a number. But this comic book looked old, like Platinum Age old, but without any more information, I was not going to wager $1,000 or more on this comic book without interior pictures or a grade, so I flagged it with the watch feature on Hip Comic. A few weeks later, Infinity Comics, who sells about 10,000 comics a month on Hip Comic alone and has over 300,000 comic books sold on Hip Comic, and I'm pretty sure they sell on other platforms as well, decided to move a number of comic books from their buy it now to an auction with a very low starting bid, 99 cents. I even got a personal email from Sarah on the Hip Comic team telling me this comic and a number of other very early Golden Age or late Platinum Age comics were coming up for no reserve auction. They know me really pretty well over there at Hip Comic. I assured her that I was already watching it and I was on it. I was willing to take a gamble on this book being something really special. I thought I might go up to $300 or $350 to find out just what this comic book was. In the end, all it took was one $2.50 bid increment more than Janda Fun to make this book mine. I was last man standing at $242.50. Hip Comic doesn't apply taxes unless you're in the same state, and Infinity Comics is in California. I won one other book from them, which you saw, Crackerjack Funnies #1, so they split my shipping fee, and I paid about $250 for this book after shipping. So, did my gamble pay off? For the answer to that question, you'll have to tune in to the next episode. Anyone want to make some guesses as to what I found out about this old comic book? If so, leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please take a few seconds to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look for part 2 of this mystery series coming soon. Until then, take care of one another.